Hello and welcome to an episode of I Bought a Watch. So today I just want to kick off the video by saying a massive thank you to all the new subscribers. What's up? Welcome! There's a whole new 36 of you at the time of recording, and of course to anyone who isn't subscribed, just a reminder, we've got a giveaway on the go, and if I've done it right, it should be up here in the corner. So go check that out if you're interested. I'll also leave a link in the description below. Alright, let's get on with the full review. Today we're going to be looking at a Corgeut Aqua Terra, which had good impressions after its unboxing, but let's see how it stood up over the past week, and more importantly, how it felt on my wrist. And here it is. Now I must say straight off the bat, this has got to be one of the best looking watches in my current collection. This design of course has very little to do with Corgeut and everything to do with Omega, because this watch is homaging the older version of the Seamaster Aqua Terra, with its vertical stripe dial and 3 o'clock date window, a particular grail watch of mine. This rather striking version, with its somewhat polarizing Bumblebee seconds hand, is homaging the original edition of the 15,000 Gauss, a variant of the Seamaster which featured the historic coaxial caliber 8508, which was famously, as its namesake suggests, able to resist magnetic fields of greater than 15,000 Gauss. Now, what's so amazing about this movement, unlike previous anti-magnetic movements, is that it didn't have to rely on a protective shielding, and because of this, it was able to feature a display caseback and date complication. By utilizing developments in non-magnetic materials, it was able to create a movement that didn't have to resist magnetism. It just didn't really have to worry about magnetism in the same way at all. Now, yes, I realize I'm getting a bit off topic, but I just want to give you guys a bit of reference on what this is originally homaging. So until I can afford my own Aqua Terra, let's bring it back to the Corgeut and see how this one stacks up. Okay, while this one won't have anywhere near the magnetic resistance, it still has the looks, making this watch absolutely gorgeous. There is so much going on with light play on this case and dial. I could just stare at it for hours. So, specifications wise, this case has a diameter of 41mm, a lug to lug of 47mm, a lug width of 20mm, and a case thickness of 12mm, with a unsigned screw down crown at the 3 o'clock position. Oh, I forgot to mention, I picked this one up for £60, and I'll leave a link to the AliExpress store in the description below. Now let's have a closer look in on this dial. Corgeut has once again knocked it out of the park here, with a perfectly proportioned and unique handset. The hour hand reaches out to the tips of the hour indices, mirroring their angled design, and the easily discernible broad arrowhead minute hand stops just shy of that printed minute track. The standout seconds hand, with its striking yellow and black markings, originally advertising its magnetic resistance, here it just adds a pop of colour to that dial. Providing the backdrop to those hands is the textured dial, said to mimic the decking of a ship. Printed on raised portions are the words Corgeut under the 12 and self-winding chronometer with 164 feet or 50 meters above the 6, advertising the piece's water resistance. The fact that Corgeut have printed the text on raised portions really gives a nice impression that they have been applied to that textured dial. Framing the textured portion are 11 aggressive hour markers, reminiscent of shark teeth, with a shortened version at the 3 o'clock to accommodate the chevron date window. Further out, edging the dial, is a slightly raised minute track with yellow Arabics at 5-minute intervals, which both complement the seconds hand and allow you to easily read the time. I really think that this is a beautifully balanced dial. Full credit to the designers at Omega. However, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am a fan of Corgeut's addition of that little half index at the 3 o'clock position. On the Omega, especially with the colour matched date wheel, this space just looks a little empty in my opinion, and I think the little addition of a half marker would go a long way in bringing together the full dial. Topping the dial is of course a lovely piece of flat sapphire crystal. However, unfortunately, there is no AR coating. Since we're looking at the side of the case, let's go over some of the piece's finishing. As you can see, the case is finished with an almost impossibly fine horizontal brushing that is particularly hard to distinguish in certain lights from the high polished crown. Moving up, the brushing meets the polished chamfered edge of those lugs, which rise up to a peak before gracefully twisting down to meet that bracelet. This, like the rest of the top of the case, is also finished in a high polish. The bracelet has solid and equally important female end lengths. This means that lug to lug of 47mm is actually how this watch is going to wear on the wrist. The bracelet is well constructed from 3 individual links comprising of a polished mid-link sided by 2 brushed links, and features very little wobble or movement both between the lugs and along the bracelet. The bracelet starts at 20mm and tapers down to 18 at the clasp. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the edges of those brush links are also finished in a high polish, making this watch a powerful fingerprint magnet. I mean, seriously, if you're someone who gets annoyed by fingerprints scuffing up polished surfaces, this might not be the watch for you. The watch features a milled butterfly clasp, which on initial impressions I found rather fiddly. However, after a week of wear, I've gotten used to it and it feels really comfortable and easy to use. As you can see, the words stainless steel are also stamped on the underside. Looking at the rear of this watch, we have a screw-down display caseback, showing off that rather simple looking Seagull ST17 movement. Around the display window is etched sapphire crystal, stainless steel, water resistance of 50 meters, and automatic movement. My recorded accuracy of this watch is plus 12 seconds a day, which is okay unregulated out of the box. However, I will probably still regulate it so that it's only increasing by single-digit increments each day. Okay, I guess let's slip this on the wrist. As you can see, it wears beautifully, and that buckle is so quick and easy to fasten once you get the technique, and gives the watch a really clean look on the underside of the wrist. I mean, overall, if you hadn't guessed already, I really love the look of this watch. I feel like it's a watch that you could easily reach for in a formal situation. However, thanks to that standout second hand, it gives the piece a more sporty look if you wanted to wear it in a more casual environment. And I really couldn't think of a better watch for the £60 price. However, in the interest of keeping this review balanced, I'm going to list off a few reasons why I think someone might not want this watch. First off is the crown. Although there's not anything explicitly wrong with it, aside from perhaps the absence of a logo, it's not all that grippy and sometimes a little difficult to unscrew. The second thing is the movement. It's not the nicest movement to operate, and although Seagull is the biggest automatic movement producer in the world, that's definitely not synonymous with the best. In my experience, they've always performed exceptionally well. However, I am aware that this may not be the case with your watch, and indeed there are chances that this watch may break down in the future. Oh, and a final thought, just before I forget, if you can see, there is a tiny QC issue just here on the end link. You might not be able to spot it, but on this side it's a little more noticeable. So if you look at the mid link, let me get a tool to point it out. If you look at that center polished mid link, it's not been polished all the way to the edge of that center link. Now, I'm really clutching at straws here, trying to think up reasons not to buy this watch, but if you're the kind of person who can't live with this form of QC issue at this price, then perhaps AliExpress isn't the watch marketplace for you. Alright, well, that does it for this episode. Thanks again for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you did enjoy it, and hit that notification bell, I guess, if you want to be notified next time I make a video like this, or indeed just to be notified when I announce the winner of that giveaway. But as always, see you guys in the next episode, stay safe, and bye!